This is episode 78 of the Wilderness Locals podcast. On this episode, myself and Wacedog sit down to chat about hunter etiquette, my first stick bow kill, and I think we hit some rabbit holes along the way, and Wacey probably offended some people. This episode is brought to you by Kafaru International, the toughest hunting gear on the planet, bar none. Check out their quick ship items, and you could probably get them by Christmas still. And as always, this podcast is brought to you by Just Shooting Arrows, BC's premier archery shop. This is a real amateur podcast.
I do not claim to be professional in any way.
I'm still eating my lunch. Should I cut that out of the podcast? Should I, every time I hit my plate, should I cut it out?
Whatever. I don't care. You're going to hear my kids screaming probably. This is the first time we've ever podcasted in the mid-afternoon, ever.
It might be a mistake.
We'll try. Let's see. It's usually 6 a.m. or 10 p.m. and I go to bed at 8 p.m. so it never works out worth a shit.
Yeah, bedtime podcasts with Wacedog don't happen, but early morning, we are ace.
I got this weird I get up for work at 5, right? So I'm always going to bed early and getting up early, I just can't get out of it,
I try to be in bed by 10, but it very rarely happens.
I think if I could started if I started a job at say 8 a.m., I think 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. bedtime would be more than enough for me, but yeah, 4:35 in the morning.
No, stupid.
First trap kill. I'm making jerky today. Whitetail backstrap deer jerky, and it's peppercorn, spicy peppercorn.
Ooh. Man.
And I'm doing 2 batches. I'm doing 1 batch on the Traeger with smoke, and I'm doing 1 batch in the dehydrator too. So.
Are you going to compare them? Are you going to do an A/B with your children? Which one's better?
Yeah, and I run the liquid smoke in the ones in the dehydrator, so we'll see how it turns out.
Okay. I do that all the time with my kids. I'll be like, "Which one do you like better?" And they won't know, A or B.
And then I just threw a big elk roast on the Traeger for supper. My wife's gone, so I'm cooking tonight.
Oh hell yeah! I am just finishing a couple of big pieces of elk backstrap currently. Kind of washing it down with coffee because I am disgusting and live off coffee.
Yes, me too.
But nice. Yeah. Man, I posted that Wacey's got some things to say about hunting etiquette.
Yeah.
And the comment section was out of control.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. People were tripping.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's been a lot floating around on Instagram lately. It's driving me absolutely crazy. A lot of etiquette issues, I think, but
should we start with that?
I don't care. We can touch on it. How much time you got? Run through this shit.
I'm shy of an hour here. I got to be out of here in 45, 50. Well, we'll just call it that.
Do you have any good ones that came in on your end?
Yeah, let me go back and look at them. But there's all people thought we had drama with people and all kinds of stuff. I was like, no, man, Wacey's gonna go on a tear for 40 minutes to be sweet.
I don't want to sound, I don't want to sound like I'm a freaking negative douchebag here because I'm pretty not like that.
Positive douchebag.
I'm very positive about a lot of things, but I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff. Like when I was talking to Justin, he was telling me a story about he parked his truck and he hiked in for elk, and some guys come blowing past him in their freaking pickups while he's walking in. Just shit like that. Proper etiquette for, where a lot of people don't care, right? If it's public land and it's public land, then they're just going to go do whatever the hell they want, right? So I think, it's okay to get the word out on a lot of this stuff. And it depends too, right? I guess if you're in BC and there's 10 trucks at the trailhead and there's a good chance you won't see anybody, you know what I mean? Everybody's kind of scattered. That's one thing.
That's kind of that's the only place I was going to chime in here is just like a lot of areas that I hunt. Elk in, for example, you'll see 15 trucks on the road, and half of them might be hunters, and then once you get off the road, you'll never see anybody again for the most part, right? It's like I have regularly gone around folks that are on the road and proceeded to drive another 10K to hike another 10K and get away from them anyways, right? Like I think BC's different, you know?
Yeah. Like that's this, like when we're talking, I think that like with that kind of thing, a lot of it is like guys going in for an elk herd, right? Like there's one elk herd and then there's like 3 or 4 groups of guys going after like that herd of elk or whatever, you know? Like this is where the etiquette will come into play on how to like not screw over another guy's hunt. Because for me, I'll just go somewhere else, like whatever, or turn around and go home or do something else. You know, I'm not going to screw up a guy's hunt because I've been the guy on the receiving end of that, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I just recently I posted one on the Instagram there about getting to a gate on a forestry road, and there was another truck there, and it was like I asked, "What do you guys do? Do you hike in still, or do you just turn around?" And I failed to mention in the post that gate blocked many tens and probably hundreds of square kilometers of land, right?
Oh yeah. That's what I mean, you know, and it depends if like you guys are all hunting deer in there and you're probably not going to stumble into each other. You know what I mean? So
no,
where's the line? Where's the line for it?
Yeah, I proceeded to hike in that day, and I actually he had hiked way farther in than I had. His tracks continued on in the snow where I wanted to turn into the bush, so I turned in and I hunted for the whole day, and I didn't see him, and then I actually saw him when I was walking out that night. And he was like, "Oh, I didn't know you were in here." I was like, "No, I was over there." He's like, "Oh, cool. Right on. I was way at the end." I'm like, "Right on." That was that.
So I kind of made a list of shit. Yeah. So some of this, like, I don't know if a lot of people are going to disagree with what I say here, but this is just some of the stuff, how I see it. So like the first one I got, if you're guiding and you know, everyone's working hard to get that animal. Like I get it. I've guided. I know what it's about. But I see a lot of these young guys, they'll post a grip and grin holding a sheep, and they'll put it on their page without anybody else in the picture. To me, that's a fucking no-no. Like if I was an outfitter, that shit would be on the no-flies list. Like don't be posting stuff that isn't yours. Like if you want to do it, if there was a group photo or something like that, to me, that's what should get posted. Or if I was an outfitter, nothing would be getting posted on anybody's pages but the outfitter's page, if that was me. But that's one thing I see that kind of drives me nuts with that stuff. What do you think?
Yep.
You agree?
I mean, I think so. Yeah. I've never been on a guided hunt, and I've never guided. But I also, I'm not hopping behind buddies' animals that I'm, you know, helping pack out or whatever, helping kill. Yeah. And, I'm not the only person in that photo, you know?
Yeah. And a lot of these younger guys that are doing it. And I think they do it for clout or fucking content or whatever the hell they're doing. But I wish they would stop doing it because it's ridiculous.
All right.
This is going to sound like a bitch session, but whatever.
On this session, on this episode of Old Crusty Wacey being old and crusty.
So another one I got you know
here. What really grinds my gears?
It says, I want to learn how to take tasteful and proper field photos. You don't have to sit 10 feet behind the animal. And if you do not know how to take a proper field photo, go online, look at some photos that you really like, and like make notes on that you would do that photo. Because a lot of the stuff I seen is just garbage. Like,
how do I make my deer look bigger? I want to add inches in my photo. Yeah, is that acceptable?
Well, whatever. I seen an elk on one guy's post. They were no more than 12 feet behind it. Like, it's I'm like, why? And it was a big like 340-inch bull elk. Like it was a beautiful bull. Anybody would be happy. No, man. Anybody would have been happy to take that bull. And they're sitting 12 feet back. To me, I don't understand it. Like maybe somebody can explain that shit to me. I have no idea.
I don't get it either. I see it all the time on Instagram. You know, you see the guy holding the deer out and his arms are completely straight. Like, what?
Yeah. There's all sorts of tricks, right? Like, it's just like fishermen and hunters and everybody's got their own little, but like, if we learn to take proper field photos, a lot of the shit that like the anti-hunting community sees, that's all they see. They see grip and grins. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
So make sure they're done right and tasteful. If you don't know how to do it, go online and look at like what a good tasteful photo is supposed to look like. Like, it's not 1998 anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
you're raising a really good point. I copied your last in the field photo by accident. I didn't even mean to do that. That photo I posted of my my stick bow blacktail, I was like looking, and then I looked right like 3 photos back. I'm like, oh, look, Wacey does it the same way. Like, nice. Yeah. You can take a photo like that without a deer's tongue hanging out of its head, and it looks pretty good.
Yeah. And I mean, each to their own. If a guy's going to take a picture, he doesn't. A lot of these guys, they're excited and they get an animal down. They don't know how to do the picture. Or they're not paying attention to certain things. But there's different ways to look at things. Like, make sure the tongue's in, or cut the tongue off, or try and wipe up blood. Don't just make it like presentable. Make it look decent if you can, right? But
yeah, I usually try to not have too much blood or anything in a photo, or like turn the head. So if like one half of his face is covered in blood, I'll turn the head, you know?
Mm-hmm. So another one, this is the fireball effect. You don't need to post your animal 45 times. We could just keep it to 1 or 2 times is sufficient.
Nice.
Like, that's what I think.
What if they only have the one animal?
Oh, they better work harder then. Get some more animals.
Keep hammering. And also, every time you say fireball, somebody in Utah gets their wings. So be careful.
Mm-hmm. So that's another one like that gets under my skin. There was a guy up here. He had shot a bull moose one time, and I just scrolled through his page and I counted 56 times he posted that bull.
Whoa!
You don't need to do that. Like, you know, we get it. So it's, I
said to you the other day, we were talking about like the direction we want to go with Wilderness Locals. And we were talking about kind of developing the Instagram page and sort of what we were doing. And like, this thing is a pretty, it's like a pretty ad hoc thing. Like we're kind of just doing whatever we think is cool. And we kind of, if it goes somewhere great. And if it doesn't, then whatever, we'll still be happy. Right. We were talking about what we wanted to post. And I said to you the other day, I was like, I can only post so many photos of my bow leaning against a tree. Like I don't want to post stuff for the sake of posting it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I get it. And I get guys want to post their stuff. And I mean, if they're going to post it that many times, then just do what you're going to do anyway. But I mean, I just want to let guys know that it looks stupid when you do it. Like, people are going to talk shit about you for doing stupid stuff like that. So just keep your posts to kind of like not a minimum, but like within reason. We don't need to, flood the internet with fireball for 4 years straight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Also, what's a fireball? Could they not put like a cream on that or something?
Yeah, for what? For a fireball? I don't get it.
Yeah, it's just stupid. The name Fireball.
No. Yeah. So, and then another one.
You ever hold on. You ever name your animals?
No.
Are you ever like, oh, there's Jeff. There's Jeff with the wacky kicker.
When I had a buck that I could not kill, and I chased him for about 5 or 6 years, and I called him Batman because he came out at night.
Oh, nice.
And that was the only deer I think I've ever named. But other than that, no, I've never named anything.
Yeah, all my animals that I'm trying to kill, I'll have like real like basic white girl names, like Wide 6, Tall 6, Weird Buck. Like that's why I always call them the same thing with my buddies, right?
The reason too, I think I don't name anything is because I don't share pictures. Like, I don't share a single trail cam picture with anybody. Like what the hell do I need to name them for? I know what deer they are. And so a lot of the guys that are naming them are just naming them, I think, so they can communicate to people. Well, this is a deer we call fucking whatever, Smoky
Dougie
River.
Fresh.
I don't know.
Smoky River 14. It would be cool if you started naming deer with like 1990s emails, you know, like sick dude 420.
Party boy 6969 at hotmail.com.
Exactly. Yes. Oh, check out this deer. We call him Party Boy. I think we're on to something.
So another one I got that drives me nuts, and I kind of touched on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Don't if you have not skinned 500 animals, shut the fuck up about giving advice. You have no place in the industry to give fucking advice, in my opinion. Like the guys that are giving advice, some of these people that are giving advice, don't do it. Just stop, because you look ridiculous, and some of the stuff you're giving is totally wrong. If you want advice, message Snyder. The guy will tell you anything you need to know. If you want advice, or message somebody that's been around and done it. Some of these guys are new. They maybe have a couple deer under their belt or whatever their case is, and they're just throwing out advice like left and right. Stop doing that. I've actually
been meaning to talk to you. I really wanted to teach you some stuff, Wacey.
Well, yeah, and I'm always open.
I got some. No, I'm just fucking kidding. Why would I teach you anything?
But so then this goes back to the people. So the people that are consuming this content, you know, you guys, people need to be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? Like aware of who's giving it. Like, what's this guy's track record? Like some of the stuff that these guys are throwing out there for advice is like terrible. Don't listen to it at all. Like, yeah. So be cautious where you're taking your advice from, because I think there's going to be a lot of people in a lot of bad situations if they listen to some of these guys.
Yeah, me too. I mean, I try to always make a point on here of me not being the one that's giving the advice. I have my own opinions and stuff that I've found that's worked, but it's not, these aren't things that have been realized over a long period of time. You know, when you're 6 or 7 years into hunting or something like that, that's not a long enough time to have actionable advice that you can give to folks. So I always encourage people to listen to guys like you and like Snyder and, you know, whoever else. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
So another one I got. So instead of posting your bull for 45 times, take that time, you know, I give a lot of my gear I don't use away to people. Like a lot of stuff I'll give to new hunters, and I'll try and make valuable use with my time. Like I'll try and help a few guys along the way. Like if somebody asks that they want help, that's kind of what I try to put my time towards. So instead of trying to stand on a platform. Go ahead. What
about if they don't ask and you just force your advice?
Then when that falls back to the last guy I was just talking about, giving out shitty advice.
Like, you know what I like to do? I like to just message people randomly on Instagram and be like, "You ever try a lighter arrow?" I'll be like, "What?" I'm like, "Tighter pin gap, bro." That's all I say, and then I just disappear. I back away into the darkness. Bad advice by Ty. What do you think? Shoot a rage, 350 grain arrow, let her rip.
And there's a lot of them guys still out there, and they believe that's the way. Like, so this is a true story. Yesterday, I had a buddy phone, an old friend of mine. I think he was shooting fixes, but a fairly light arrow, and he had a couple bad run-ins with, you know, not getting good penetration or whatever was happening in the last few years. So he had it. He phones me. He says, "Wacey, what do you think?" And I told him, I'm like, you know, this is what I would do. I would have an arrow, you know, try to be 500, 550, somewhere where there's got to be a happy medium. Like, you don't want to be launching fucking giant spruce trees at deer, but you also want to retain some speed. So you don't have a huge pin gap, because he's a compound hunter. And I'm like, but you want to have some ass behind your arrow. There has to be a happy medium. Like, there's no one answer for an arrow that's perfect. It's just fucking not. Yeah. The arrow is going to fit each guy, whether you draw and all this. And we got talking about broadheads, and he had ordered some iron wills and asked me what I thought. And I said, "Fuck, you can't go wrong, man."
Giddy up.
So, that's the type of advice I'm giving guys, because I've done that shit, lived that stuff. I've made bad hits, lost animals, doing shit with light arrows and this and that. So like, I know that, I've been there, done that. And the advice I give is trying to help guys, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, I think it's, I think the amount of dudes on the internet giving arrow build advice is unrivaled. And you see such crazy shit in that particular, on that particular topic, man. Like it's mind blowing. And it's like, you see guys ask these questions that don't have enough information on the front end, and they get comprehensive answers back from people that don't know what the hell they're doing. It's amazing.
It's a very muddy water when you start going into this. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. People need to take advice from people that they trust and know what the fuck they're talking about. At the end of the day, that's it. And I mean, if you can't decipher, if this guy's good or this guy's not, message Snyder. He will reply to you, or message me if you want to talk to Snyder, and I'll text him for you or whatever. Like, that's the guy to talk to.
Or message somebody locally too that that's a killer that actually kills every year with the tool you're talking about. Like if you have somebody local that does a bunch of killing and has a lot of success, and they're not full of shit, talk to them too, right? I mean, I think what you're saying, Wacey, is talk to folks that have the experience doing what you're trying to do.
And so, yeah. And I don't want to sound like this is a bitch fest. I'm just trying to, now that the season's over,
really
a lot of guys
sound like it.
A lot of guys. So when people notice this, when hunting seasons end, everybody starts coming out of the woodwork because everybody's kind of bored and looking for something to do. So they start really jamming their social media up with stuff, right? So just be aware of what you're taking advice from, because it's the last few days I've had to avoid Instagram altogether. It's just driving me batshit crazy.
Yeah, which is fair. I mean, I'm definitely gonna start doing a wolf killing clinic, and I expect you to be there, and you can be my student. It'll be great.
Yeah, that would work fine. So the next one I got a whole bunch here, but we're gonna keep this pretty short. So we're already 22 minutes in. So the next one the next one I got that's been driving me nuts, and this is more of a personal preference thing. So a lot of people are going to be like, Wacey, shut the fuck up. But your chest rig, like you got bear spray, the guys in the States, bear spray, handguns. I seen a chick, she's had a fucking Bowie knife and a handgun and bear spray and fucking
shit,
all
Rambo.
this shit hanging. You look like a fucking giant junk drawer walking down the mountain. Like keep your fucking chest rig, fucking clean and tidy. Like I just could not have 48 pounds of shit hanging off my chest. I want a set of 8 powers tight to my chest. That's it. Clean. Like I don't understand like the whole, and like the harness this chick was wearing was an Alaskan.
Alaskan Guy Creations.
Yeah. Alaskan Guy Creations. So they're big as fuck to begin with. Like you might as well have a Striker XL strapped to the front of your chest with that fucking thing. And then they got handguns and knives and every other goddamn thing in there. So be aware of what you're strapping to your chest. Like I think a lot of people think it looks cool, or maybe you like it. I don't know. I'm just saying it looks absolutely ridiculous. Some of the stuff you guys are putting on your freaking chest rigs. Get yourself a good day pack and just have a clean front chest. Cause a lot of people, if you're bow hunting, you're going to catch your strings on stuff. End of rant.
Fair enough. End of rant. What do you keep in a chest rig?
Binos. Binos wind check on the side. Yep. That is it. I don't see the Sitka one that you were wearing is pretty clean because them side pockets do wrap around to your rib cage. So I think that's pretty clean, but like that's maybe as far as I'd go with it. I don't know. Yeah, it's just to me like when you're bow hunting and you're running that string close to your chest, man. Like how much shit do you want hanging off? I just see it. I just see a recipe for disaster with bow hunting and having knives and guns and fucking all this shit hanging off your chest.
You don't have anything else in your bino harness except your binoculars.
Binos, yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Really?
That's it.
You on my list?
Yeah, fire away.
okay, so my bino harness is set up so I can leave my bag and not have a worry. I got binos in it. I got a little cloth to clean my binos that's on a tether. I got my tags in the back. I have a replaceable blade knife with a handle in a zipper pocket on the back of that harness, so I can cut said tag and get the guts out of an animal if I have to. On the right side, I have a rangefinder on a tether, and then in the front of that pocket, there's usually either a spare tab or rifle rounds. Mm-hmm. In the side of the main is a wind check. And then in the left compartment, which is the one that I take off sometimes, if I'm not on a backcountry hunt, this pocket goes, but a proper backcountry hunt, in there is headlamp, water tabs, one of those like ultra light collapsible water bottle deals. They're like the size of a film container, and you can put a liter in it and then throw one of those tabs in there, and then you have water. I probably should have told you that on our goat hunt, because I realized after the next day that I had a water bottle with me when you were dying for water. And
do you remember?
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember when we got back to the truck and Yardy was in full effect? How much water I was drinking out of the
dude. You know what? I was talking to Barclow, and I can't remember if it was online or offline. He thinks it was Giardia and something else that you had going on.
Like when I got back to the truck, Ty had this. What are them blue jugs? 5 liter, 10 liter?
Yeah, they're big. Yeah.
So anyway, I was just like putting my face on that, and I would just drink. And I get in the truck, and I'm like, man, I'm so thirsty. Like I can't quench my thirst. It was crazy. I'd never experienced anything like that before.
It was wild, man. Like, yeah, no doubt. I really racked my brain hard on how to tell that story without it making sound like anybody did anything wrong, or like it was a failure or anything, because it wasn't, right? It was just, got some bad water, and that's the way it goes, right? But it was like, fuck, dude. It like when we were planning on getting over that goat that was on that kind of ledge that we could have shot, right? When we were standing there and you were making the case for us to go do it, I was like, man, he's not making any sense right now. Like, I was like, what's going on? Like, this is like your approach just wasn't real logical. And then I was like, oh, he's fucked up. Like, there's something going on here right now. But let's get back to the tent, right? Mm-hmm. And then that hike back, I was just like, man, like I'm smoking him up these hills right now. Yeah. Which is like makes no sense. You have like a 40-inch inseam, right?
Yeah.
It was wild, right?
Yeah. No, it was crazy. I don't know. I just never, like, when you're fucking going through shit, I don't know if it's hard to know that it's happening to you. Like, you have to be very aware of what's, like, I thought I was just thirsty. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, man, I'm drinking like 15 liters of water a day right now, and I'm not getting quenched with my thirst. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's that.
No, it was wild. I think when we pulled the pin there, I think it was the right decision. I think if we were up there another day, it would have been bad when we had to wait for that weather window to get off the mountain there. So,
So some of the questions you got, were there any good ones you want to touch on quick? And yes, just for the record, there's no industry beef. I don't beef with nobody. I'm very neutral with shit. This is why, like, this stuff I'm talking about, I see like specific people doing it, but I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want any beef. I just want to bring make people aware of what douchebag behavior looks like online, and have a proper presence for the hunting community, because a lot of this shit is just a lot of the shit that's getting posted out there is ridiculous. Like, and a lot of it, man, I'm not going to be straight up, is a lot of young guys. They want clout, or they want to have some, recognition to their name, which is fine. You can earn that, but it takes time. Some of the shit you guys are posting, I wouldn't, but because it's hurting. I think a lot of this stuff is hurting our community as a whole too. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, let's, maybe we'll change gears here now. I'm on the same boat. I mean, I don't think there will ever be a time when there's any kind of internet or real life beef from this podcast. And if there was, we would handle it like men and hit it straight on immediately. There would be none of the BS games that people play on the internet. That's not for us.
Mm-hmm. So that was a few of the questions you got. So I think we addressed that.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of it. A lot of the questions were about that and access and stuff like that. It was all good. So let's, we got some time left here. Let's talk. I killed my first traditional animal this year, which is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting.
I shot
for you.
I shot a black. Yeah. I shot a blacktail with my recurve, which is cool. And it's I shoot all my bows all the time, right? Shoot my compound all the time, shoot my recurve all the time. I'm very practiced up, and I keep at her. I do practice a little less during hunting season because I use that time with my family, and because the rest of the time I'm in the field, right? But I have to say, after carrying that thing around for a season and having quite a few opportunities that I either passed on or decided were not animals that I wanted to take, I had missed an opportunity at the blacktail that I had been trying to kill all season. And then I was actually hiking out and I caught a tail flick of blacktail that was probably, 60 yards away. Realized I could get to him without him smelling or seeing me, and snuck over and stuck an arrow in him at 20 or so. But here's the thing, man, with the stick bow, like for me, I mean, that first one, it was like I had never even drawn my bow back on an animal before. Like, it was like I hadn't had a bow hunting kill before, It was like, I don't even know if I hit my freaking anchor. Like,
yeah,
pretty wild, man.
How far was it?
Just 20.
The shot. 20? Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Was he just broadside, or what was the scoop? Like, was he facing you?
Probably, yeah, slightly quartering away, but I knew I could sneak it through the vitals, which was cool. But yeah, facing away. So
nice.
Yeah.
So, did you pack him off the mountain campaign style, like whole?
I could have probably. No, I only had it was probably a click from my truck, and we were here in the Fraser Valley. We were in the middle of our giant atmospheric river event. So I basically gutted that dude and floated him to the truck. There was like a foot of water where I was hunting. So
what do you think
the bottom of the trail?
What do you think a blacktail like that weighs guts out?
Oh, not that much. Like
you could put him in a pack, like up against the frame or something.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't think it would have been comfortable, but I could have done it for sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, it was all good. I just dragged him and literally threw him whole into the back of my truck, which was cool. Yeah, blacktails aren't big. It's not like a big 350-pound huge ass big boy muley,
Excuse me. Did your arrow pass through?
Yes. Yeah, it did. Somebody asked right after I shot one of my buddies. He's like, "Oh, how's the shot?" The shot was fine. He's like, "They passed through." I'm like, "Dude, I can't remember offhand. Like, I don't know if I tugged it out or what." Then I went and looked at my bow and I'm like, "Oh yeah, there's blood all the way. The knock must have passed through," and I picked it up. I'm doing a sacrilege thing there. I have lit knocks on my stick bow arrows so I can see where they go. Tried guys are screaming.
Yeah, well, whatever. Gives a shit. That's sweet, man. I can't really. I'm not a blacktail guy. So when Ty sent me that, I was like, "Man, are you gonna leave the head in the bush or what?"
People were pretty stoked, when I posted it on our feed there. People were pretty hyped about recurve blacktail. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's sweet. From what I understand, they're hard to kill, so I don't know. That's pretty good with a wooden bow.
Yeah, for sure. But No, we'll 1 year. Like we're gonna try to plan it 1 year, I think. So we'll go do something in the mountains first, and then get you down here to try to kill a blacktail with your bow. It's fun. It's like, yeah, it's very frustrating, but it can be really fun. Like if you hit it right and you're into deer all the time, it's super cool.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's cool, man. Well, hey, go ahead.
I was gonna say, what was killing your first deer? Like was it? Did everything go as planned? Like, did you fall apart in the shot? Like, I got full on typewriter like after the shot, you know. Like, and I'm like, I've killed stuff with my bows, right? It's like it wasn't a huge deal to me, and but like after you know, sending an arrow through that deer, I was like, it was literally like I felt like I had killed my first deer again, you know.
Yeah, I killed a muley doe. This is the crazy part about the story. Like I was just starting down. So I had aluminum arrows, Samick Sage, nice. Fucking G5 Montag, 100 grain on the front. Didn't spine my arrows to the bow or nothing, but they shot. And I had been practicing quite a bit, right? Trying to get down this rabbit hole of the trad. And I just snuck up on a muley doe, and I thought I didn't have a rangefinder or nothing. And I thought, well, she looks close enough. So I shot and I piped her right behind the shoulder, and I stepped it out after, and it was 54 yards.
Whoa.
And so I didn't really, this is kind of how naive I was. Cause to me at the time, I was still hunting with the compound a bit. And so 50 yards with the compound was a piece of piss for me. And so I was talking to Adam, who was my mentor in the traditional community, Adam Brennan. And I'm like, yeah, I piped her at around 54, 55 yards. He's like, what? And he's like, how? I'm like, well, I don't know. I just looked behind the shoulder and I shot her. He's like, you know, not many guys like shoot like that, right?
Bend it and send it.
And I'm like, really? I'm like, this seems like an average shot, you know, for me, like a little closer. Maybe I'd like to be around 40, but for whatever reason, she didn't look that far. But so anyway, the next year, so I kill that doe. It's all fine and dandy. And the next year or that year, I can't remember, but I shoot a bull moose.
Are you shooting the same setup then? Like aluminum?
No, it must have been the next year, because I had a freaking longbow. Like this thing stacked like fucking pancakes at Waffle House. That's how bad this thing stacked.
It had a back wall.
It had a back wall for a guy with a 31-inch draw.
Yeah.
But I was pretty good shape back then, so I was handling it okay. But it was 55 at 30. It was 55 at 31, and I never did put it on a scale. But I believe that bow was probably like 65 at 31. But anyway, dude. So anyway, this bull moose, I'm calling this moose, and he comes out, and there's this clearing. Same thing. I just pull back and shoot, and same thing. He was over 50. So then I'm like, okay, I don't want to be shooting that far. Like, and I piped that bull, and he ran 20 yards and tipped over. But after that, I really started carrying a rangefinder, and then really paying attention to my yardages, right? Like, I don't want to be shooting that far.
Did you when you were hunting with the compound, did you not carry a rangefinder? I
did. 100%. I ranged everything. But as soon as I went to the stick.
You were just, screw it. I'm a trad bow hunter. I just freaking rip it.
No, not even necessarily. Because when I went to the stick, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know what the way I was shooting was actually, you could do it with a rangefinder. I was just like, this is how it is. And I was just
instinctively shooting.
But what I was doing was like a kind of a hill style split vision, kind of gap instinctive was actually I was doing. But it was years later before I realized that's what I was doing. I had no idea. Yeah. I was still doing the yardage calculations subconsciously, but like it took me a long time to figure out that's what I was doing. And then after that, now I carry a rangefinder, right? So I click him. He's like 32. Well, I know like what 32 looks like in my split vision on that arrow shaft, right?
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily aiming like, so I'm the same. It's me and Snyder are so similar, and I don't know how we ended up like that, but Snyder 0 to 20 gripping and ripping. Same as me. I'm just looking where I want to hit and hit 20 out. I'm not aiming with the arrow tip, but I'm referencing it. Like I know what that sight picture on that arrow tip looks like at 50. and where it needs to be. Yeah. So it's just funny how things work out. But now I do carry a rangefinder again all the time because I want to try not to miss.
Yeah, I want to try to kill shit. I am just like 0 to 40 gap shooting with my stick bows. Like I even have a dope chart written up that's on the limb of my bow, and it's like basically 15 to 25. I don't need to reference it at all. There's only a kind of a 6-inch change there. But like outside of that, it's really nice to range and then be able to hold over, right? It's a lot like shooting a rifle.
Mm-hmm. There is a method to it that you can be accurate without string walking or aiming the arrow tip. A lot of guys are aimers, which is fine.
Yep. I am for sure.
Are you like one eye aiming your arrow tip or what?
Absolutely, yeah. Oh. No, I'm definitely looking. I'm looking down the shaft and putting where my insert, where my collar meets my broadhead on the animal, or at a certain point. Like on that deer, I was like, oh, he's 20. Drew back, put it like right, kind of in the brisket, and as soon as once I've aimed, I stop aiming and I just focus on pulling through the shot unless the animal moves, right? And then I start my process over. But I don't know. This year I had a lot of opportunity at different animals that were just like right outside my comfort zone, like that 30, 35 range. And I was like, I could kill that deer, but I'm not that excited about that deer. And I don't know if it's going to go that well. And then like this one, when it came up, I was like, I can get to 20. Like I know I can get to 20. Like that deer's not going to blow out until I get to 15. Like the way that it was set up and like the topography and the kind of the ground conditions there. Like I could get there quietly. It was like, mossy crap. So it was good. And for me, it was just like draw bow. I think I got to anchor, put it where it needed to be, and then thought about pulling through. I think I probably plucked the string pretty good though on that deer, but I mean at 20, like I can mess up my shot pretty bad at 20 and still center punch the target these days. So
that's where a tuned arrow though comes in when you like have a bad release. If your arrow's already flying poorly and then you have a bad release, I mean all hell's going to break loose. But if your bow is set up correctly, proper knock height, your arrow is tuned the best you can. Mm-hmm. If you have a bad release, it will help you in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, out of this, I'm shooting an elevated rest on my Tolkien, like a fishing line rest. And like, I can bear shaft out to, I don't know, 30, 35, no problem. Which is sweet.
I'm ordered a new bow. I don't know if I should say should I say what I ordered or no? I better not.
I don't know what you ordered. We actually haven't talked about
it. I haven't told anybody yet. It's a big secret.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like we talk like 3 times a day. I can't believe I don't know this. I am hurt and offended. And
I'll tell you, like I was down to, so I looked at, freaking what the hell is that name of that super recurve? I can't remember. Not Bushmaster. It was Timber Ghost. I was looking at a Timber Ghost. I was looking at that bow. And so when I put that on my story, I'm like, everyone's like, oh, what are you looking at? I'm like, oh, Timber Ghost, a South's bow.
A stalker.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a stalker. And I listed a bunch. The fucking messages I got, and guys are like, don't buy this bow. This guy's a dickhead. Don't buy this bow. Really? Don't buy this bow. It blew up on me and this guy wouldn't cover warranty. Like I got message after message after message. So I was like, wow, okay. But not one bad thing about Tolkien. So that's always good.
Good folks, man.
And they back their stuff too.
Well, I don't think they need to back it because it doesn't break.
Yeah, but I did not order a Tolkien. I did talk to Jared. I did talk to Jared about it, about like, doing an order, but I was on the fence with it. So
is Jared going to find this out on the podcast?
Probably. If he listens
to it. You should, he listens. You should definitely text him before I post this.
Oh, I don't think he gives a shit. I'm really a nobody to him. Am I?
You're Wacedog. The Wacedog. Anyways, go on. What'd you order? Tell us.
And it's not like I don't like Tolkies. I love Tolkies. I think Tolkies are one of the best bows out there. Can I guess
what you ordered?
Hold on. It's just that I like to try new bows all the time. I have had bears and borders and Tolkies and all sorts of shit. So this is just another one. Go ahead and guess if you want.
You're getting a custom 12-inch riser T-bow.
From where?
China.
No, not even close.
Not a 12-inch riser with extra long limbs.
If somebody can guess what I ordered, now I'm talking. Fuck.
I think I can probably guess, Wacey.
Do you think you could?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of.
Is it a curveball? Is it out of left field? Have we never talked about this bow?
We've never talked about this bow.
Oh, okay. Then I have no idea. Okay, tell us. What are you getting?
I'll give it away. I'll give a little bit away. It's 7 months to build, which is I think standard for most.
Oh, it's a Vanguard.
No.
What?
It's not
what the hell? There's like all these people that we're friends with that make just the best bows in the world, and like you're like, oh, I got a Dougie Fresh bow coming. What is it? Tell us.
I don't know. I want to keep it a secret till it gets here. It's going to get here in July, which is after bear season.
So what are you going to kill bears with?
A Samick Sage. I'm going to have to buy one online. I don't know.
I have a 58-inch Tolkien whip I could send you.
Well, I have this Jack Kempf bow. It's a 62-inch.
It's cracked riser though, right?
It has a cracked riser, but I might try and sand it down and glue it just to get me through the season.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you, I'm going to send you this Tolkien and then I'm going to send you a compound. The devil's lettuce.
Can you imagine if I started shooting a compound? Holy fuck. People would be like,
you should do it. Like I definitely could get you a compound for free. Let's do that.
No, I can't. I don't want to.
We could change the name of you could have your own part of the podcast that could be called like the Wheelie Boys.
And like Jake pulls it. Like this is part of not giving a shit either, but Jake does it. Like he shoots compound stick bow and kills a whole pile of whatever. But
I packed in this year. I've packed in the stick bow and the compound, like literally strapped the compound to my back on the way in. Because if that big deer came in at 60, I would just kill it with my compound. That would be the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I just want to shoot a stick bow. That's where I'm at in my life. You know what I mean? Like,
you gotta tell us what you ordered. I can't handle the suspense. If I can't handle the suspense.
Do you think I should say?
Yeah.
Or should I let everybody wait to see what I ordered?
Well, I was
thinking whoever guesses it to the T, and James can't, because I actually told one guy, there's one guy, a friend of mine on Instagram, he helps me with veneers and stuff. Like I run a lot of shit by him to see what he thinks, because he's he has really similar taste to me. So I'm always bouncing ideas off, but James can't guess because he knows exactly what it is. But if somebody could guess the riser, the limbs, the veneers,
this is too hard.
I'll sign. Not anybody wants my signature, but I'd sign a brand new Eichler tab and send it to him if somebody could guess it. Or I'll just send him a tab, no signature.
Send him a blank check with a signature.
Yeah, there you go. But like I could do.
I'm looking at James's profile right now to see. I think you should just say, "Is it a bear?" No.
No, I'm take 7 months.
That's rude. I'm just looking at James's Instagram right now. I'm like, who does he follow that I don't follow? He's a hardcore Tolkien guy, though.
Yeah, he's hardcore Tolkien, but he has South. I keep calling him South, but stalker bows and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. I thought. Oh, hold on. I think I know what it is. Let me see here.
I just having too much fun with it.
It's just I'm the only person that gives a shit.
Yeah, you're probably
Does it have snake skin veneers?
No snake skin, but it would be rad if it did.
What's the lead time on it? Okay, anyway. Yeah, I think you should just tell us.
You want me to say?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to drop the ball. Hey, did you rattle that deer in or what? Yeah, you rattled that buck in.
No, I rattled in the buck that I didn't shoot at. The buck that I'm trying to kill, I rattled in. And then, yeah, I sent you the story. It's lame. I don't think he busted me. I think what happened was I rattled him and he came in. I got impatient, rattled again, and then he kind of like challenged, wheezed, and stomped. And I didn't have the patented Wacedog snort wheeze tube on me, so he peeled. He actually didn't peel off. He walked away. I checked cameras after. He just walked down the hill, and then he was back after dark that evening. So
you must have a sensitive nose because you're always like, man, I can smell elk or I can smell deer. I can't. I couldn't I couldn't smell shit if I was in a shit house. Like my nose is junk, man. Terrible.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's how somebody just left a comment on the thumbnail for Tyler Friels. It says, disgusting, should have let that poor creature die naturally, sick. And I'm going to be like, sick, and then throw a hang loose sign. Right?
Oh yeah,
he did die naturally when the air escaped his lungs.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm actually just gonna delete his comment. Fuck off. There you
go. But yeah, so yeah, that bow won't be here till July. But
what is it? Good. Tell us what it is.
Do you want me to say for real though?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Bow redacted.
I'm shocked.
It's going to be nasty. Yeah. It'll be gangster.
I regret you saying it on the podcast now. Okay. Well, that's a wrap, folks. I got to run. I got to pick up a kid.
And podcast.
Yeah. And I will give tech tips, all kinds of pro tips. Okay. That's that. I'm going to be late. Later, dude. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, please subscribe and leave us a review. You can follow us on Instagram at Wilderness Locals. If you want to support the podcast, please check out the gear, articles, and whatever else we're up to on the website at www.wildernesslocals.net.